Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I am back to filming. I know I've been gone for a while. I've been gone for like 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks I haven't posted a video and I can't believe it. I actually went on a little vacation to clear my head and stuff like that because June was rough. I basically went to go visit my family, and before I left I had so much to do that I couldn't get the video I filmed up for you guys. And then when I got back, I just wanted to clear out everything, just get rid of stuff, clear out, like just let it all go, type of thing. It's been a week since I've been back, and that's what I've been doing, cleaning out, donating, taking stuff to the dump. I did get a bookshelf so I can put my books on a bookshelf. It is like a small bookshelf. It's 3 shelves, but I don't keep all the books that I do read. I get rid of books, I keep some books, stuff like that, because I just can't have like all of the clutter and stuff with all the rest of the stuff I have going on in my life. Okay. Anyways, that being said, I did read some books for the month of June. I feel like I could have done better, and I feel like for the month of July I am going to do better. I plan to do better. So this is going to be a reading wrap up for the month of June. Okay, and the first book I read is this one by James Patterson, and it's called Let's Play Make Believe. I did a whole review on this book, and I do have it posted, so I will have it linked up in the cards or in the description box. So basically, long story short, since I did do that review, and that video was like, I don't even know how long it was. Like probably like 7 minutes or something. But I did talk about a lot, and then there is some spoilers in there. But this book is about a girl named Christy and about a guy named Marty. And throughout the book, they're going on this thing where they meet each other through one of Christy's friends, and they start hanging out together. They start doing things that they normally don't do, or from the perspective of what Christy doesn't do, which at the end, it's not Christy's the crazy one, and Marty is the normal one, and they're divorcees type of thing, and killings happen. Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. But you have to read it. It is a book shots book, so it's a super quick read. So I would highly suggest you adding this to your TBR, because you can get this done literally in probably like 2-3 hours if you just read straight through it. It's very short. There's literally like 113 pages. Like this, it's a super quick read, but it is really good. There was some annoying parts in there which I do go over in the review. So yeah, just check out the review, add to your TBR. Yes, and I think this book is like, yeah, it's $4.99 US, $5.99 Canadian. So it's super cheap too. That was the first book. So the second and third book are from the Chronicles. I talked about the Chronicles on my channel before, because I read Flight by Alyssa Rose Ivy, and Flight is from the Chronicles. It's the first book. I read that ebook style in May, and I talked about it. I really loved it. I think I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. But it's a really good book. If you like supernatural type of fantasy, it's really good. And it's basically about a girl named Allie, whose father bought a hotel in New Orleans, and she goes there for a summer with her best friend, and they work the hotel room. They meet guys, and Allie swears off men right now because she just wants to focus on herself. But then she meets this guy named Levi. She plays hard to get, even though he literally loves her. Like right from seeing her, he loves her. And she goes out on dates with him. Her best friend goes back, so her best friend is like in the beginning of the book and not there anymore. But anyways, they go on dates. She meets his friends. She finds out that he's a Terran bird type of thing. Like he can switch into a bird, but not really like switch into a bird. He can grow wings. Basically, wings pop out of his back, okay? And out of his friend's back, because they're all together. They're all friends, and they're all the same thing. He gives her this ring, and it sets off this bond, but basically makes her married to him, and they can't break it. And that is basically what the book is about. Sped up. So that was Flight. So the second book is called Focus. I did everything I could to find the second and third book, because I really need to know what happened. And I couldn't find those ebook style, because usually when I do ebooks, I do free ebooks, because I like to see, like, I mean, it's free, so we can all read it type of thing. And if it's good, then I can, I will get the second one. But now I want all of them, even though the second book, called Focus, I wasn't a huge fan of. I would give Focus probably like a 3 out of 5 stars. Focus was, to me, a kind of a waste of time. Basically, it leads off from the first book, and it talks about how she stayed in New Orleans, went to college, and she still, I don't want to be married to you. I don't want this ring. You trapped me, type of thing. And that's like the whole book. The whole book is that. Back and forth of her not loving him and pretending like she doesn't care even though she cares, and yeah, and then they go to parties and stuff like that, and she's basically just trying to fake it until she figures out how to break this bond and not be married to him. That was the second book. I personally felt like I was wasting my time, and I was getting very annoyed at Allie, like very annoyed. So yeah, that was the second book. So the third book I read, and actually the third book to this Chronicles series, is called Found. So Found is it's the same thing. It's a continuation. She's into school. She's still doing that back and forth thing with Levi during the beginning, but then she figures out that she does love him. They go out on dates. She is the princess, so when she goes to classes, his friends have classes with her, and they go with her, and they have to sit there and watch her so she doesn't get kidnapped again. If I didn't mention the first one, she got kidnapped. And oh my gosh. And basically, in the last book, the last book was way better than the second book. To be honest, the first book and the last book were basically like a tie of the same thing. I really feel like the second book, like everything that happened in the second book, could have been shortened up and put into the third book, which that doesn't make any sense. Basically, she could have only had 2 books, and it would have been really, really good that way, because we didn't need all that in the second book. So yes, when it comes to the whole Chronicles, it's a really good, they're really good book. I felt like the writer is very easy written type of thing, but she gives you what you need to know when you need to know it, and fast. She's not like one of those writers that give you so much detail and then you're like, okay. It's like bam, 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 bam. It's like you're getting to the point. You're getting, everything focused, except with the second book, which just dragged. So the fourth book and the last book I read in the month of June was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. And that book, I don't even know where to start with that book. I did listen. Okay, let's back it up for a minute. So, when it comes to my library, for some reason, they don't have a lot of the new books. I feel like their new books are basically like, I remember I got 2 of their new books, and they came out basically, I think, in March and February, something like that. It's a small library, like a small community, like my community type of library. And I personally think a lot of people in my town don't read. Like, I really think that. So it's like one of those things where I find different ways. And I know when I went to the library, they had advertisements, and they are hooked up with Hoopla. And that is where I got this audio book at, and I'm so happy. I read, the type of thing, book and audiobook style, because I got to hear the story from the author herself. Yes. So my whole perspective of the book is, I felt like it's different than somebody who read, you know, the actual book themselves. Oh my gosh, but the book is so, so lovely. It's so real. It's so personal. It's like writing that literally came from the heart. Um, if you don't know what the book is about, it's about a young girl who got pregnant in high school, at the beginning of high school, and she talks about her life being a single mom, and then and also growing up, you know, without her mom, and her dad being a very distant type of dad, and her grandma basically raising her and taking care of her. Their financial struggles, how she's struggling to balance all her life and pursue what she loves, which is cooking. So it's very deep, very personal, but it also gives you that sense of community because at school she has, you know, that support system when it comes to her home. It's like her homeroom, so I guess you would call that kind of like a guidance counselor type of thing. And you know, her friends, and it's just, I don't know, it's just very, very beautiful. It's something that I feel like you have to experience for yourself. It's hard, I feel, for me to explain, I know. But it is a very, very good book. I would definitely rate it a 5 out of 5. And I wouldn't mind a second book. Like, I really wouldn't mind a second book. I really would want to know what happened to her life after the first book. I don't want to give away what happened at the end. But I feel like it can be continued. It really could. So that is all of the books I read in June. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found a book that you could add to your TBR for next month. And other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.